How do you handle when a woman texts you in between dates?
Well, that's a good sign. That shows that she's interested in you. And that's what the book is designed to help facilitate. And that's why you set one date a week, is because as her attraction grows, she wants to talk to you and bond and connect more. And especially if you've been out like 2, 3 times and she's used to you reaching out about once a week on average from every like 4 to 7 days or whatever, and things are going well between you, it's usually, especially after you've been intimate, then she starts reaching out. But typically women aren't going to ask you out. They're just going to be like, hey, what are you doing? How you doing? I was thinking about you. Saw a movie and the main character had a blue shirt on, like your blue shirt that you wore on our last date. And I was thinking about you, those kinds of things. And like the book says, if she's reaching out, you should assume she wants to see you and just make the next date. So that's a good thing. And so when that process starts happening, especially when she's reaching out 2 or 3 times a week, you can just use that as an opportunity to set the next date. And that makes it really easy because if it's her idea, she's the one that reached out to you, you make a date, she's going to keep it because she's the one pursuing you. You're not going to get rejected from a woman that's always pursuing you.
So, let's say he made the date, but she keeps texting him. Does he keep following up the conversation with her? Or,
Well, you don't ignore her, but some women are like that. And if you say you went out on one date and this girl's like sending you 30 text messages a day. Most normal business oriented men do not have time to respond to 30 memes and 30 texts during the day. Those are the kinds of things that you see maybe with young girls that don't have a job or people that are in college or whatever. But in the real world, it's if you start constantly texting with a girl, then what happens is that as soon as you stop, which is typically after the honeymoon period wears off, and you're just not going to feel like texting anymore, you were only doing it to make her happy and placate her, and you really didn't want to do it in the first place. When you're 6 months down the road and you start backing off, then she's going to really start complaining that you never make the effort. And the phone is for setting dates, not getting to know somebody. I mean, the old days when I was growing up, you had home phones. You had to call other people, or you had the original cell phones were these giant bricks, and it was expensive to use them, and it was typically for emergencies, or if you needed to call somebody back in the day, you had to stop by a payphone or whatever. And then there were pagers came along, and so it's with cell phones and with apps and smartphones now. You're in contact. You can be in contact a lot, and if a woman is constantly texting you and then gets mad or upset that you're not replying quickly when you've only been out on 1 or 2 dates, usually is indicative of a girl that's very insecure. And she's going to constantly I just did a email video newsletter just the past few days where, that was happening with a guy is that I think it was their third or fourth date. He just slept with her. And that was like on a Saturday. And he's figuring, okay, I'll call her Wednesday to set up the next date, which is only like 3 days after their last date. And she reached out to him like a day or two later, pissed off and mad at him. And her opening text is, oh, I don't think this is going to work. And he's like, what? We just had this nice date the other day. And the first thing you text me is, oh, I don't think this is going to work. He's like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you should have texted me. And so she got mad at him because she had some unreasonable expectations that he didn't meet. And so she right away is already threatening to end the courtship because he's not a mind reader. And women that behave that way early in the beginning, usually it's indicative of somebody that's insecure. And so obviously you're going to have a conversation about it. But also it's like if she wanted to talk or text, she could have easily, why did you just turn it around? Whoever's asking questions is the one to run the conversation. Well, if you want to talk to me, why didn't you text me? Why are you texting me to tell me you're angry at me instead of just texting to say, hey, how are you? I was thinking about you. That's what most normal girls do. Girls with a good attitude do that.
Or if he's really busy and he can't respond, and she expects him to like keep up, just say, "Hey, if I don't text you back, it's because I'm busy. I'm working.
Yeah, I'm in meetings. I just can't be answering 30 text messages in a day."
Just have the communication with her, so you let her know instead of just kind of like leaving her.
Yeah, you're not going to ignore her, but you also take your time responding. It's like if you're one of those professionals that's just your business involves lots of meetings and one-on-one meetings with clients, it's like you don't have time to constantly stop what you're doing in a meeting and answer your phone or answer her Because again, whatever you do in the beginning is what she's going to expect long term. And so it's going to be better to nip that stuff in the bud. And if she sent you 3 texts and you get out of your last meeting at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, you're like, hey, I got your message. Sorry, I've been in meetings all day. It's great to hear from you. When are you available? Let's get together. I want to see you.
Kind of leaves her on a cliffhanger, so where when he does text her, she gets excited. Like, I haven't
Yeah,
talked
well,
to
you
him
want
all
her to be
day.
excited. Oh, I thought something happened, or thought you were mad at me, or something like that.
Right.
Is how a normal woman is going to respond. A woman that gets pissed off right away, she's insecure, and those type of women have all kinds of issues. They're not only they insecure about that, but it was like, hey, when we were at dinner the other night, you were looking at the waitress. I saw you checking out her butt. Or hey, when we were hanging out at my best girlfriend's house, you seem to be flirting with her. You guys seem to be a little too friendly. So girls get like that. They get very jealous and like, oh, I don't like your new secretary. I don't like the way she looks at you, and you need to fire her. They get jealous of other women that you work with or whatever. So those are red flags to look out for. Because again, easygoing, easy to get along with. Drama-free zone. She wants to bring drama, let her go bring it to somebody else's life.